In case you miss it, here's a Sports Animal Rewind.
New Sentinel Sports page brought to you by Image Matters on the Sports Animal, sportsanimal99.com. Checking in with a former Tennessee Vol, was part of a very good offensive line with the Tennessee Volunteers last year. Now a third-round draft pick of the Miami Dolphins, and in camp right now. Dallas Thomas joins us here on the New Sentinel Sports page. Hey, Dallas, Vince Ferrara here in Knoxville. How are you, Dallas?
Man, I'm great. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Well, I appreciate it. Let's start with you being drafted by the Miami Dolphins. What was that like to get that phone call and know that you were being taken by the Miami Dolphins?
Oh man, it was a blessing. I was just happy to get picked. I was so excited that I was going to Miami. Plus I've never been down here, so it was phenomenal.
Take us through when you found out about it, where you were, and what the team said to you.
I was at my grandmother's house, and we was just having a little get together, just the family and stuff, just sitting around. And I had went in the back to look at the game or something. Something was on looking at the game, and then I got the call, and they told me like, we're gonna take you. And I jumped up, and I was like, everybody was in there. It was like everybody ran in the back. It's like, what's going on? What's going on? And I was like, this is the Dolphins. I'm like, and everybody went crazy in the house and stuff like that. And I was just so happy.
Well, did you have a feeling that the Miami Dolphins were one of the teams that might potentially draft you?
No, not at all. It caught me totally by surprise. I had talked to him before on the phone a couple times, but I didn't think nothing of it. I thought it was just the usual, what's your draft number and all that stuff like that, where you're going to be at and all that. That's all I had thought of. That's all I thought it was, but it was more than that.
What teams were showing you the most interest, did you think, before the draft?
49ers and the Eagles.
Interesting. We're visiting with Dallas Thomas, former Tennessee Vol, part of that terrific offensive line last year, and now a member of the Miami Dolphins. So what has life been like living in Miami so far when you hadn't been there before?
Man, it's great. I love it down here, It's totally different from Knoxville, but I like it down here. It's not Knoxville. I miss Knoxville, but I like it down here,
Is the heat bothering you at all? Because I know it's always hot down there. I was born and raised in Tampa, so I know the heat in Florida. Does that bother you being hot every day?
Nah, when I first got down here, it did, but I got used to it real quick because, I'm from Louisiana, where it's always hot down there, too. So it really wasn't that big of an adjustment for me to get back used to it.
That's a good point, Dallas. I used to live in New Orleans, too. Not only the heat, but the humidity, too, right?
Yes. Oh, man, the humidity is a big difference down here.
Visiting with Dallas Thomas, former Tennessee Vol, now a member of the Miami Dolphins after being taken in this year's draft by the Dolphins, in an OTA right now, and then next week will be the full minicamp. What have been the experiences like, the rookie minicamp and then these OTAs? What's it been like running around and doing drills in a Miami Dolphins uniform?
Man, it's just approaching it every day as a professional now. You're no longer just doing it to be doing it. You're doing it as for just a job now, and the speed of everything since I've been here is totally different.
Mm-hmm. We talked to one of your teammates, Tyson Clabo, last week, who's from Knoxville, and he said he was really impressed with you and like what he had seen from you early on. What's been your interaction with the rest of the offensive linemen and trying to blend in and learn and catch up?
Just trying to just do what they do on the field, just trying to learn from them, just trying to pick their brain on certain little stuff to make me a better player and to help the team out.
Where are you working at on that offensive line?
I'm all over right now, so it's really not. I really don't have a set spot yet. They use me everywhere, so only time will tell.
There wasn't any sort of plan when they first drafted you or brought you in terms of specific position that they left it wide open?
No, it's wide open.
Do you have a position preference, whether it's tackle or guard? You played all over the Tennessee offensive line. Do you have a preference?
No, I don't have a preference. I just want to help the team out, that's all I want to do is just help the team.
Visiting with Dallas Thomas, former Tennessee Vol with the Miami Dolphins. Every time you hear a soundbite from a Miami Dolphin, they're raving about Ryan Tannehill. What have you seen? What has been your interaction from your quarterback?
Man, guy got an arm on him, He's so precise with his passes, and he knows what he's doing on the field. He takes control of everything when he's on the field. He makes the calls, and he knows when the pressure's coming to get the offensive line on the right spot to pick up the pressures and all that. So I love the kid.
Well, what's it been like to block for a Florida Gator with Mike Gillislee? That can't be fun for a Tennessee Vol, right?
Yeah, it ain't right, but his locker is actually like close to mine, so we talk a lot. So it's really not that big it's not that bad no more as it was at first.
Interesting. We're visiting with Dallas Thomas here on the New Sentinel sports page, and you've got a big group this year that went into the NFL with some other teams. Some guys that were drafted, some that signed as undrafted free agents. How much have you talked to some of the other guys in this year's class that are new to the NFL also?
I haven't talked to too many lately because, man, like kids, they really keep us busy here. So when I get home, I just try to just rest. I barely talk to my parents, so I haven't really talked to anybody lately.
Well, that's understandable. Are you healthy right now? Everything you're feeling good right now?
Oh yeah, I'm feeling great, feeling real good.
What's your height weight right now? What would you show up at camp? Do you know?
6'5", 315.
Were you surprised that Tyler Bray didn't get drafted, Dallas?
Yes, I was. I knew he was going. I knew he was going to go in. I thought he was going to go in like a later round, but I didn't think he wasn't going to get drafted.
What about Derrick Rogers, your former teammate, went on, had success at Tennessee Tech, and eventually signed with the Bills? Were you surprised that he wasn't drafted also?
Yeah, that was a real shocker right there. I thought he was going to go early, real early.
Now Justin Hunter gets to stay in the state of Tennessee. How about Justin with the Titans? What do you think about that, Dallas?
Oh man, I bet he's loving that. Just a skip and a hop right down the road.
Well, what do you think about this year's team? Everyone talks about how good this offensive line at Tennessee will be because so many of the guys are back. You're the only one that's not a returning starter on this year's team. What do you think about the offensive line this year for the Volunteers?
Oh, my boys, they gonna hold it down. And I taught them well, so I already know they gonna do what they got to do to get the job done up front. So it's going to be a good year for us, I think.
Have you talked to a lot of those guys? What do they think about Butch Jones and this new regime, new coaching staff?
They like them. They like the way it's headed. They were sad for the change, but they ready to move forward and get the job done.
Any part of you says, man, I wish I could have been there maybe one more year to see how things would have gone with Butch Jones and coaching under him, because he's created a lot of energy, Dallas. I mean, there's recruiting buzz all over the place. They have a top 1, 2, or 3 recruiting class. Fans are really excited about the direction of the program. Any part of you says, man, I wish I could be back and play under Butch Jones?
Oh yeah, always. It's just not that for Coach Jones, but it's just the relationships that you build with your teammates. When you be around them for three years and then you up and leave them, they always got a piece of you back there that always just want to come back.
Anything about your Tennessee career? Obviously, you wanted to win more games, but is there anything you look back on that really stands out about your time at Tennessee?
It was everything, It was like with all the coaching changes, when everything was happening, it just made me tougher and to handle what's going to happen here, when anything that happens here, I'll be ready for it.
Do you have Miami, whether it's nightlife, whether it's restaurants? There's some great places to go out. There's a lot of scenery. Any go-to places for Dallas Thomas so far?
I just like to just sit on South Beach right now, on Ocean Drive. I just chill down there for now. I ain't really been able to explore too much.
Well, you guys got the OTAs going on and then the mini camps next week. Hey, Dallas, great to visit with you. Really appreciate it. Glad things are going well and you're happy down there in Miami. Let's catch up with you again hopefully soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, that is Dallas Thomas, former Tennessee Vol, terrific offensive lineman with the Tennessee Vols, now with the Miami Dolphins fighting for potentially a starting spot with the Dolphins this year after being taken in the draft. I'm Vince Ferrara. It's a New Sentinel Sports Page brought to you by Image Matters on the Sports Animal.